Alright, so if you're new here, I'm basically going to be playing some solo guitar. I'm going to be improvising, and then I'm going to answer questions in between. So let me know what you think, and yeah, here it goes. Cool. If you're tuning in, thank you so much for watching. This is Improvisation 1. Ooh, I'm actually going to switch cameras to my webcam so I can address you from the front. If you're watching this, thank you so much. That was an improvisation. If you want to hear more improvisations, I've got a single out on all streaming platforms and Bandcamp called Beginning of the End. The new one is coming out on Tuesday, this Tuesday, which is, I believe, the 15th. That one's called Uncertainty, and every week from then on, I'll be releasing another single. So if you're interested, all the links are in the description. Go check that out. Ooh, where are my heads? There we go. And if you look to the bottom right corner, which I just added, those are some heads that my friend Sean drew that are on the album cover. So anyway, I'm going to keep playing some music. I'm probably going to improvise another one. Maybe I'll play a tune. If you have a request for a tune, leave it in the comments. But yeah, thanks for hanging around. thanks for hanging out. That was another improvisation. The way I kind of thought of that was I was just playing this D major triad, and then I figured, I guess now I'm in D major. And then I kind of kept with that. Throughout, I was doing a lot of like parallel stuff. Like at some point, I ended up here, which I'm not even sure how I got there. I was kind of just trying to be in that flow state or whatever you want to call it, but I was in that B sus land, and I was thinking of going up. Around here, when I was on C sus, I did one of my favorite substitutions for sus chords, which is I played a D flat over a C triad, or D flat triad over a C bass note, which is a kind of this Phrygian chord. And yeah, it kind of activates that Phrygian mode, which is kind of like an altered sus chord. Because this basically gives you the root, the flat 6, the flat 9, and the perfect fourth, the sus 4. And I'm playing a D major triad in second inversion. But anyway, if you want to know more about that, and you're watching the replay of this, I'm probably going to add that into the description or in the little cards thing, so check there. I have a video called What Are Modes? And then I have another one called Modes from Bright to Dark, if you want to learn more about that. But if you don't want to learn more about that, I'm going to keep playing guitar. If you're watching and you have some questions or any comments, or you just want to say hi, drop them in the chat. And, oh yeah, I just wanted to mention that I'm also... This is the first time I'm playing guitar on the day. I haven't picked up the guitar yet. So what you're hearing is sort of just my natural approach to warming up. And you'll probably notice me playing more notes as the live stream goes by, which I think is the goal. And yeah, I sort of like to not prepare anything or not be warmed up, because then I can only play what I'm really hearing and what comes naturally to my fingers. And I think that demands a little more intention with whatever I'm playing. Like when I'm warmed up, it's really easy to just throw my fingers and play some like licks that I know, but it's kind of difficult to make a song improvised, and I'm trying to make it sound like a song. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's free. I'm trying to make it sound like I'm playing something, and the whole time you're like, what song is he playing? But I'm not playing a song, or I'm making up the song on the spot. It's kind of like the marriage between like pop and indie music and free jazz is kind of what I'm going for. Anyway, you probably didn't need that long explanation. I'm gonna switch over back to this camera. Also, let me know in the chat if like anything's kind of weird. I'm still working on the live stream thing, and this is kind of new to me, so let me know what I can do to fix it. Got some black tea. I think it's wild Thai black tea from this company called Rishi Tea. And my friend Nicole gave me this mug, so shout out Nicole if you see this at any point in your life. Anyway, I'm going to keep improvising. Leave any requests in the chat. I'll try to get to that. And if you're watching the replay of this, leave it in the comments. And yeah, I'll try to do it on the next live stream. Tune in. I'm still debating on the time. Right now, this is 2 p.m., but I'm thinking 7 p.m. is cool. But I have plans later, and I figured I'd try it out to see if anyone's hanging. But anyway, thanks for sticking around if you're here. But yeah. Okay, that was another improvisation, and I got a question from Rizil. Rizil? Yeah, right. Anyway, so he's asking, do you ever use alternate tunings? I used to use it on this guitar actually, this Telecaster style thing that I have. I used to have it in D standard, and I kind of still do in this guitar right here. You might have seen it in some videos. Oops, I don't want to break everything. Oh, I'm breaking everything. So I used to play in D standard. There's actually a video somewhere on this channel. Again, if you're watching the replay, I'll add this later. But where I said why I started using D standard, and it's because of a Rhett Scholl video that I watched. And I actually played one song with the D standard guitar, and then another one with this one, which was an E standard. So you can kind of hear the difference between the two, which is not a like very how can I say this without without hurting myself? It's not a very good study because they're two different guitars, but it's interesting. And yeah, I've tried using something like toe tuning, which is like FAC GBE, I believe, which ends up being like this F major 7 sharp 11 triad, or chord, not triad. It's an F triad, I believe, with like an E minor triad on top, which ends up being this like kind of leading chord. It's kind of like sort of like that. Yeah, but generally I feel I'm not that inclined to use alternate tunings, just because I feel like making music is hard enough sometimes. You know, I'm wrestling with this guitar so often, and I'm trying to do things that like are not that easy on the guitar. And while I do think using alternate tunings has definitely inspired me in certain ways, it's like given me a few more ideas. I feel like I can't express myself as well. And I think that's a good practice, but in a practical sense, I want to be able to express myself. I don't want to be able to play gymnastics on the guitar. Um, so there's that. No, I mean, no offense, of course, to anyone who plays alternate tunings. There's much better guitar players than me that nail alternate tunings. If you're looking for a good example of an alternate tuned album, or at least in my opinion, Kurt Rosenwinkel on the next step, I think alternate tuned a different tuning on like every song, basically to kind of trip him up so that way he stops playing the same kind of things over and over. And the next step is one of my favorite like jazz albums of all time. Like I used to listen to it every day, basically. Um, and I've been checking out Yvette Young recently from Covet and that band, and she uses that toe tuning a lot. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think I used Dadgad when I was a kid to play like Kashmir, like the Zeppelin song. I think I've used a few. There's I forgot what tuning it is, but there's that Zeppelin song in My Time of Dying or something like that. They use some kind of alternate tuning that I learned when I was a kid. I forgot now, but yeah. I hope that answers your question, or I hope I didn't answer your question for too long. But yeah, cool. Keep dropping the questions. I'm gonna play some more. I think last week I was kind of going between improvised and not improvised songs. This week I'm kind of feeling the improvised vibe. If you're against that, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm gonna keep improvising songs. Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm gonna. This is sort of the mental process I go through when I'm improvising songs fully, which is I basically like think of some kind of prompt, but it's really like a starting off point. The way sort of Wayne Shorter does it, but he's Wayne Shorter and he's like really old and has experienced like most of the jazz throughout his life, like most of the jazz spectrum. I think he was alive for the majority of it and participating in the majority of it. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's as good as he does it, but basically, I'm gonna start off by giving myself this idea F. I'm gonna play F and then see what comes of it. I'm not gonna specify minor, major, or any specific mode. I'm just gonna think about F. So if you're just tuning in, ooh. So if you're just tuning in, I was explaining right before that I picked the prompt of F and it started from F and then went on from there. So basically what kind of happened was that I was thinking, let me make this ambiguous, and it's kind of going between F major and F minor. I somehow ended up at G flat Lydian a lot. And something that I've been doing through this song and just generally in all the songs is something that my teacher Ben Schwendener taught me, which was when you play something, repeat it. If you play it twice, you own it. If you're unfamiliar with who Ben Schwendener is, he is the professor of Lydian chromatic concept at Longy School of Music, which is where I studied with him, but he's also at New England Conservatory, NEC. And that was really great advice, which I was kind of already thinking about, but when he said that, I was like, oh, that's the thing. And if you can play something twice, then basically it means that you were paying attention the first time. You know, for example, if I played... You know, so that I couldn't play it twice, so that means that I didn't think about it. I didn't hear it. I just flung my fingers all over the fretboard. So it kind of helps you, especially when you're improvising, to make things more melodic and honestly give the listeners more information. I bet it was a lot easier to follow when I was playing melodies than... Which, this also has its place, you know, it's an effect. It's a valid part of music, and fast things are cool. But when you're going for being melodic or being memorable with music, that is one thing that helps. And for you mic nerds out there, I just got this today. This is the Shure Unidyne B model PE515. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the mics used on the Get Back Beatles sessions. I could be wrong, because I did go down that rabbit hole of like, what were the mics they were using? And this could be something related, but not exactly in the movie, but I found it on Reverb for a really good price. If you don't know about Reverb, there's a link in the description, because Reverb is awesome. But basically, I got that mic for $30. I'm thinking of doing a shootout between that one, the SM57, and this Octava dynamic mic, because dynamic mics are super useful in guitar, and they're staples. So I was thinking of doing a shootout, so that way everyone can hear the difference between the mics. And yeah, an interesting thing. One of them is, like, this new one is a really vintage sound. I was trying out earlier a little bit. And it doesn't have as much low end, but it's also not as bright. It's kind of like the EQ is like that. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, let me know in the comments or send me an email. But anyway, I think that's about it for today. I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you for sticking around. And if you want to hear some more improvised music, you can find it on all streaming platforms. The first single of my new album, which is going to be called Farewell 2020, is out already. Next Tuesday, the new one is coming out. It's called Uncertainty. And yeah, check out my music. Send me an email. Hit me up. Let me know what time is good for you, too, for the live streams. Oh, thank you. Rachel said that he enjoys my playing. Thank you so much. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.